So just still waiting a few minutes for heat number 2 to begin for the Winter Bangers. We've just gone to the next session, so we're just about set and ready to go by the looks of things on this second race of the evening. We'll have Thomas to take you through this one, his first one of the night. So we'll be underway very shortly. The cars just making their way to the track, and after a very lively heat number 1, should we say, Thomas, anything can happen in this one.
Well, I mean, it was fun to say the least. The work somehow kept going. I mean, I've got Keane in the pits pulling it for me, but that's besides the point. Knowing him, he'll probably stick a hole straight through the sun. But anyway.
That may be. So, cars are making their way out onto the grid. We'll get a full grid line for you very, very shortly. You can see we've had a couple of cars already joining it out of the pit gate. Those are in question, I'll get for you in a moment. So, the first one to join us out the gate looks to be the 164 of Charlie Aylward. Behind him is a big Yank tank, so that one will probably do some lively stuff. 210 Dave Davison had a crash already coming out the pit gate as well, which wasn't part of the script.
And the infield tyres.
Yeah, so I was going to say that. Go on.
But that is Jamie Dawson in the Yank, and he's sticking it on pole position. That's going to go well, to say the least, isn't it?
I'm guessing that's probably a case of do them before they do you.
Yeah, well, looking at it, we've actually got quite a few Yanks this one. Well, I ain't heard any police sirens yet, so by the looks of it, none of them have got the matching VIN numbers for ones with Nick.
Well, we'll have to wait till Heat 2 before we find out. So we'll be underway very shortly with this one for the Bangers. Everyone is now formed up on the home straight, so I'm going to depart you now and leave you in the capable hands, or relatively capable, should we say, of Thomas Kalita. It's over to you, Thomas, for this one. Heat 2 for the Bangers.
Well, I think it's safe to say capable. Yeah, you're going a bit far-fetched there, but anyways, that's besides the point, I'd say. Right, once we get Jack Aylward off the track, after his mad rush to get out the pit gate, sort of like the lunch line in school, to say the least. So, of course, top 7 to the meeting final. Of course, Jamie Dawson and David Davidson, your front row. And, of course, Jack giving his usual lecture to everyone around Oppo on the bends. Right, so there we go, there's the call. So once Ben decides he knows how to work the music box, there we go. So that's full rolling lap, we'll send them away. Heat number 2 for the National Bangers. The green flags are underway with heat number 2 for the National Bangers, and Jamie Dawson already sprints into the lead out of turn number 2. Not quite sure that's what you'd possibly see. Yank Ford already got a wheel off for Conor Wham 317. Safe to say the Preview is going to good use already. As the leaders complete the first lap of the circuit, it's David Davidson now. Our leader from Ollie Hutchins in 368. There's Carlton Longdon in 419. Jamie Dawson still back in 4th. Then we see Tom Knighton in 142 in 5th spot. And already the rest of the cars scramble for what they can get off of turn 2, and the leaders come round turn 1 once again, and looks like Conor Wow's gone round there on turn 4 in 317. Not quite sure how he's going to get well on Oppo with 3 wheels. He's already got one hit on someone, not quite sure who that is back there. But as the leaders come round once again, another lap of the circuit complete for David Davidson. As it's now Ollie Hutchins still in 2nd as the top 3 break away from the rest of the pack. Tom Knighton now up to 4th in 142. Then it's Andy James in 5th in 188. He's under fire from Charlie Aylward in 164. And here comes Max Clayton as well in 281. And Owen Hunt in 528 follows him round the circuit. Jamie Dawson has a slight problem there as Richard Morgan and Alfie Jones as well in 171 and 40 both find the arm of a post, and Carlton London finds the tyres once again. As Richard Morgan's already got a thing for them posts this race, you could say. But of course, both the cars turn around. Finley Hall in 100 gets a slight bump from Harry Clayton as he gets sent onto the infield as well. A quick 360s back on his way, and here comes Conor Wow once again in the Previa with 3 wheels. And he gets another square head on there from Alfie Jones. As the rest of the cars get through a cloud of smoke on turns 1 and 2 as he tries to get the Previa rounded over again. Jamie Dawson nearly meets the post as well. in 165. We've got more cars turning around and up. I believe that's Harry Clayton, one of them, in 81 as the leaders try and come round. Now Owen Hunt gets put straight into the post in turn 1. Not quite sure what's going on over on turn 4. But I can definitely see one car in the post. I believe that might actually be David Davidson. So Ollie Hutchins is now actually, no, never mind, it's Charlie Aylward, our new leader. So Ollie Hutchins demoted down to second place. Andy James now third as well. From Tom Knight and in 142, he's now down to fourth. This is another lap complete for our leaders as they come into turns 1 and 2 once again. So this side of the track's all clear, but it looks like Harry Clayton's up to something as well in 81. He's going to try and get round 2 of the oppo zone. And straight through the back wheel of car along that he collects. I believe that is Max Clayton he's collected. So I believe it's a bit of a relative feud there, possibly. Charlie Aylward manages to get through the 81 car on oppo. As here come our leaders now. When he collects Stephen Rice in 801. On turn 1 in the round goes Alfie Jones as well in number 40. It's Chaos. Certainly liven up. On turns 1 and 2 of the leaders caught up in it, Charlie Aylward. But he manages to get squared away once again. Connor Wells decided to park again. Well, along the track, should we say. But he's left a gap on the inside. As how many cars are going to get through it or just decide to drive straight through the Previa? But here comes our leader now once again into turn 1. It's Finley Hall hits the infield marketer as well. Well, Connor Wells, I believe, waving people in, we should say. So, definitely got to tighten his belts there, I believe. But as our leader, he's got to get through turns 3 and 4 once again. Still Charlie Aylward, our leader, Ollie Hutchins. Believe he's now coming off into turn 1 now. There he is. So our lead, second place car, quite a fair way back from our leader. As Tom Knight is still for third, and Owen Hunt now in fourth, and Andy James still fifth, and David Davidson nearly goes straight through the back of Connor Wow as well. On turn 2, and Jamie Dawson now putting the yank to good use. He collects Max Clayton in 281. As Ollie Hutchins manages to get through the rest of the oppo zone fairly clean. We've got another 2 more cars parked along the home straight. I'm not quite sure who one of them. I believe Stephen Rice is one of them in 801. And Finley Hall's going to have a nibble on Max Clayton as we go into turn 1. As our leader now into turn 3 and 4 once again. See a couple cars in the fence down there. I believe this is now the last lap for Charlie Aylward. In 164, he's got round the back marker Richard Morgan and he's hit. Oh no, that was the last lap actually. At least Jack's there to inform, and now the leaders, well, the winner, should we say, is now being hit from tap by everyone. David Davidson's found the post as well. He soon disappeared. So now everyone's going with the standard approach of just hit everything you can with him out. As Charlie's just decided he's going to accept defeat, park the car up and go to the bar. And everyone else, well, not quite the DD boys, and that Finley Hall, mate, that's a post.
Well, we didn't have a DD scheduled tonight, but I think we've got one now.
Well, they're making one out of it, and Owen Hunt's going through Connor Wow now as well. No, everyone is. So it's a bit like, well, the real Yarmouth BWS just snapped the Previa off.
Well, that's what they get for being mid-engined, I guess. But anyway, a fairly dominant victory there for Charlie Aylward in 164. Just navigated his way through the various altercations around the circuit. They certainly didn't phase him anymore, but we have got a confirmed top 7. So first 164 Charlie Aylward, 368 Ollie Hutchins second, then 142 Tom Knighton was third. Fourth place 528 Owen Hunt. Fifth place was 210 David Davis, and sixth was 188 Andrew James, and seventh 21 Harry Clayton. They've all gone through to the wildcard final, and I think it's fair to say, Thomas, a few big names that could certainly make their presence known in that race have qualified there.
Well, you got the odd few in the Consolation as well, you could say. But of course, we've still got one more heat to run, and then of course we'll have another 7 through to the final. I believe it's just the winner going through the Consolation, actually, yes, if I'm right as well.
Yes, it is.
So I think it's safe to say that one's going to be a mad dash for who can, well, get to the front early as possible, you could say. But we've just got to get the rest of the cars, well, the next batch of cars, should we say, lined up in the pit lane ready to go. We've got a few more cars to clear off the track. Max Clayton as well, looking one of them. He's got a fair bit of pulling to do in that one. But, of course, get the rest of the cars left on the track back to the pits, and then we'll bring the next batch of cars on for heat number 3. And I think, Ben, that's your cue to get the music up.
Yes, it is.
Well, you best get on it then, shouldn't you? I'm sure at one point David Davidson will get his karaoke session. That's his, well, become a tradition now, we should say.
Well, I do sincerely apologise to interrupt one of the greatest bands of the 80s, but nonetheless, we are just moments away from Heat 3 tonight for the Unlimited Bangers, and I have also been given the entertainers for you for Heats 1 and 2, so I'll give you them now. So Heat 1 entertainers were 926 Louis Kingwell, 42 of Basil Barron, 782 Thomas Cleater, and 831 Rian Hand. And the entertainers from Heat 2 were 81 Harry Clayton, number 40 Alfie Jones, 165 Jamie Dawson, and 100 of Finley Hall. They're your 8 entertainers thus far, so they've all got some prizes for the entertainers. And, well, we'll see who else is going to get entertainers' prizes in this one, Thomas, which should, if for the other 2 races I've had thus far, be something rather special.
Well, I don't know if that assumes I've qualified or not, according to Kean Twig it does. So, quick message, Kean. Unlucky. But anyway. So,
another quick message, Kean. Just because you say it's going to happen doesn't mean it will.
The commentator's curse can easily sort that, I think. But anyway,
Yes.
the rest of the cars for Heat 3. So, Scott Bodley, the first out of the gate in 57, along with Carl Fido in 749. Then we see Lewis Anslow in 118 and Kieran Smith in number 13. There, your first 4 out the gate, and here come the rest of them now. And believe it or not, Finn Wells in a new car. Yes, I know, amazing. Anyway.
I think he's had that car since the last Blue Moon came out.
Well, he could have easily just pulled the thing, made it look brand new. But anyway.
So it looks like we've just got one more car straddling into the rear of the grid. Number 593 joins in what I have to say is a beautifully turned out Granada. That's one of the best looking cars I've seen so far tonight. But I think we've got everybody apart from that ready to go. I don't know if Stuart Morgan's joining us or not. I'm taking that as a no. So I think, Thomas, it's all over to you for this one. Heat 3 for the Unlimited Bangers.
I've also been told to say by Kian that he's put a hole in the sump. I mean, 2 can easily play that game. I'll just slash all your good tyres. Anyway, so we got the Elwood brothers deciding they're just going to sit on the middle and leave the cars there. But of course, as their tradition, Jack's just going to leave it right there. And no, Ken, you're not keeping your rain sports. Anyway, so of course, that's all the cars lined up. So I believe it's 19 cars we've got out, if I'm right. So here we go, we're rolling, and we'll, of course, we'll complete rolling up, and I'll be underway with heat number 3. Here we go then with heat number 3 for the Unlimited Bangers, and in at the first corner it's Scott Bodley. And already down the home straight, Carl Fido whacks himself around the post in 7.49. He collects Riley Scott Sanders and all that, and Finn Wells collected in it as well in 1.77. And the rest of loads of more cars piling in into turn number 1. Kieran Smith, one of them, in number 13. Shangiri as well in 4.78. And Harvey Barker's collected in it as well in 1.44. But as the leaders complete the first lap of the circuit, already we've got a car turning it on Oppo. It's Stuart Morgan in 1.22. What's he going to try to do? Who's he going for is the main question. He's got Joe Rollins straight on the nose as well. Connor Osborne goes round in 2.14. He's having to repeat it with the real date, should we say, actually. And Harvey Buck straight through the back of Stuart Morgan as well. On turn number 1. Not sure what's going down the other end. I can see Finn Wells in all that. Then again, he's not hard to miss in a bright pink car, is he? But here comes Carl Fitter. Carl Fitter straight into a post as well. 7.49. Dylan Gamble's in it as well in 68, and Connor Paget in 8.95. As the leader goes round, so Scott Bodley's collected in everything, so it's now Lewis Anslow who takes the lead in 1.18, and Alfie Needle up to second in 1.70 as they come round and complete another lap of the circuit. So there's a back marking car separating our lead 2, and the leader's caught in it once again, as so's Alfie Needle. Shane Geary goes straight into a post as well. So Anslow and all that has got a bigger lead than what he originally had. So he's coming off of turn 4. Oh, no. I was just randomly getting a phone call and all that, so where were we? Right. So Scott Bodley's now retaken the lead. And here he comes into turn 1. So it's oh no, it's Nico Clausen now with the lead in 8.57. So he comes off now onto the back straight. So it's Clausen from Lewis Anslow still second. It's still it's Lewis Offen now to third actually in 7.43. Not sure where he came from in all of this. But the top 5 rather, are all still back with each other. Nico Clausen into a post there. And Stuart Morgan straight through the side of the 8.57. Cameron 2 more cars scrambling in all that. So our leader off for turn 4 once again. Lewis Anslow still the leader in 1.18. Still Scott Bodley for second from Lewis Offord in 7.43. Then it's Brad Thomas in 55. And Nico Clausen still 5th in 8.57. Who's going to come out of this with 6th? Actually, no, it's Connor Osborne now 5th in 2.14. He's done more laps than he did yesterday. But Scott Bodley's now retaking the lead now. So it's definitely a car park down on turn 4 as the leader's changing. Well, I think the lead's changing more hands now than I can't think what. I'm sure we've got a punchline for Ben somewhere, but anyway. So Scott Bodley's going to make it through turn 4 once again. I can see he's been stopped down there. I think he's in the post. So Lewis Offord's now going to take the lead though in 7.43. Lewis Anslow up his inside. We're just about, we've got a back marking car between them. as Owen Geeks finds himself in a post in 808, and Lewis Anzo's been caught up once again. So here comes Scott Bodley now once again to try and take second away again. Definitely a lot of places switching in the second half of this race. There's definitely a pile up there on turn 4 as Lewis Offord gets through it with no issues. So Scott Bodley's going to come out of it with second. Lewis Anzo's still behind him though as they go into turn 1 once again. Here comes Brad Thomas now in 4th and 55. Lewis Anzo's caught in it, but Brad Thomas has found a tyre in 55 and he's going to just about get through. He's still holding on to 4th place. But he's still now a fair bit down the road from our leader Lewis Offord into turn 2 once again. So what Scott Bodley and all this, he's now coming into turn 1. He's got and Bodley's got a puncher in 57. Is he going to be able to hold on to second as the leader? I believe is now possibly starting the last lap. I'm not actually quite sure on that. I believe he is. So Lewis Offord into turn 3 once again. I believe he's going to come out of this with the victory. Scott Bodley still getting held up now by Stuart Morgan. It is the last lap, so Lewis Offord now has took the victory. I think it's for forever. Well, the leaderboard on here is, well, quite inaccurate. As 1 minute is a 1 lap and then the next it doesn't. But anyway. So, if going off that was the last lap, for Lewis Offord, he's all clear to possibly take the win anyway. He comes off for turn 4. He's going to get through it once again. So now that is the race done. Well, if going off Jack's knowledge is anything to say. So Lewis Offord, he confirmed, does take the victory in 7.43. Lewis Anslow home for second.
Oh, go on, Josie.
188.
Say it like Nick Knowles.
Oh, brilliant.
I think we've got interruptions from another Ben other than me at this stage, but there you go. That was Heat 3 for the Limited Bangers. Another very hard-hitting and bruising race from the Nationals there, as is to be expected round Yarmouth. On the
well, it weren't just a Ben, it was Richard Cleater as well, trying to tell me to say it like Nick Knowles, but that isn't quite going to happen at this rate, I believe. Well, so he's trying to get me a voice already.
Yeah.
How about we get him on the World Final? How about that?
Well, yeah. But that goes the same, just as people saying I sound like Dave Goddard, but I don't. But nonetheless, I'll just get the top 7 for you before they disappear off the monitor, otherwise I'll never get them. So if Jack could just go up so I can see the top 7, I would appreciate that. So first was 7.43 of Lewis Offord. 118 was second, Lewis Anslow. Third was 214, Connor Osborne. Fifth, 57, Scott Bodley. Sixth was 55, Brad Thomas. Sixth was 177, Finn Wells. And seventh was 857, Nico Clausen. I'll try and get the entertainers to you as soon as I possibly can. I'm just waiting for the officials to give me the word on that. I mean, you can never be too sure when it's going to be when it's going to be confirmed. The joys of technology, I think, is the what I'm going to say for this. So another lively race, and hopefully the Consolations prove to be just as exciting. Thomas,
probably going to be more exciting if anything. Of course, everyone's going to be fighting for that single position to get through to the final. Of course, only the winner goes through. So a field of possibly, you could say, about 20 cars fighting for one position. And you've got a couple premiers in that, so of course, no doubt there's going to be some pile-ups, of course, but we'll see what happens. So everyone just, of course, switching the cars over, and then we'll be going with with the only Consolation, rather, once we're all ready to go.
Yes, and I will just give you the entertainers as I've got them before I put the music back on. So 214 Connor Osborne, 895 Connor Padgett, 144 Harvey Barker, 713 Riley Scott Sanders, and 68 Dylan Gamble were the entertainers in that race. So I'll just try and confirm to you. Thomas said we've got one Consolation. I'll just get that fully confirmed, and we'll be back with you very, very shortly with what is set to be Consolation time for the Bangers. And I've just been told it will be 2 Consolation races, as we have got enough cars to suffice running 2 races. We'll be back with you very, very shortly. Or maybe we'll just hand you straight back over to Thomas, as we've gone straight into Consolation number 1. So,
providing if I don't get interrupted this time.
Okay, I've just been informed that we're just going to hold a couple of moments. So we are just going to go to some music before we get underway with our first consolation race of the evening. Back with you in just a few moments' time.
There's a man I meet, walks up our street. He's a worker for the council, has been 20 years, and he takes no puts it in the bank, and never pays it. And he vanishes, his children. He never lets on, but I knows he wants to about the money in his cave. He's
Right, so just been informed we are ready to rumble then with Unlimited Bangers in their first consolation race of the night. Thomas, they're all yours.
And also clarifying, this isn't UK Speed Weekend, Ben. We're
I
not
know.
playing Dignity here. But anyway.
Well, people would complain if I didn't play it, so I thought I would. Anyway, it's all yours.
So I'm not sure how many cars we've got on this one. I believe we have 21, if I'm going right. So that's going off. Yeah, it's 21 cars by the looks of it. So Charlie Elwood's going for a reverse start. Quick 180 and he'll be on his way once he decides to move. So of course, just the winner for the final for this one. And we'll get Charlie Elwood move onto the middle. You can quickly go jump to the bar now, Charlie. Of course, the full roll on that once again. Here we go. We'll send them rolling with Consolation at number 1. Right then, here we go with Consolation number 1, and already Alfie Needle gets turned around straight off the start in 170. So into the turn 1 they're going, Owen Geese is going to climb with the lead in 808, and already a gargle of cars already being collected down in turn 2. I can see Harry Clayton's one of them in 81. I believe that's Shane Geary down there as well in 478, and Carl Bantwick just about gets through that with a lucky escape in 365. So already our leader coming up against backmark in traffic. It's of course the Previa of Conor Wilder on 317. And already Riley Sanders with problems there in 713. The leader's got a whole pile up to go through. He's just about to get through it all. So it's Owen Geese, your leader in 808. Of course, Lewis Allen still behind him now. In 311, just a couple car lengths between the two. It's Finley Hall now third. In 100 from Joe Rollins, already from the back of the grid in 593. It's Connor Paget in 895 from Kean Twig now in 6th. In 62, we've got a change for the lead up front, possibly, by the looks of it, and we do. It's Joe Rollins now to the lead. In 593, but Lewis Allen going to try the inside line to go on the back straight. Finley Hall now here to join the crowd as well. And Owen Geese still 4th though, and already Harry Clayton coming out there on Oppo, but all of them managed to get squared away with it. So Lewis Allen's going to take the lead. He just gets a bit squirmish, and in they go to turn 1. Oh, what a big hit from Connor Wow on Owen Geese in 828. He backs off it though. So Owen Geese retakes the lead. In 808, Lewis Allen still 2nd. Is Finley Hall now 3rd. Actually, no, it's not. Stephen Rice is 3rd now in 801. Not sure where he's come from out of all of this. So top 3 go into turn 1 once again. They're going to meet Connor Wow head on once again. And Stephen Rice is caught in it. For I believe this is the 2nd time. And Alfie Needle, after spinning on the first lap, he's made his way back up to 4th. And Lewis Allen's caught in the head on. Actually, no, it weren't a head on, should we say. It was more through the back of Stuart Morgan. But anyway, Owen Geese now onto the back straight. Still our leader into turn 3. Riley Scott Standards with a big head on the 808 car in turn 3. I believe it might have killed Geese off as well. The car don't look to be moving Connor Wow. And Harry Clayton still trying to cause chaos, as you do. So our leader in all of this, it's still Joe Rollins in 593. Finley Hall and Stephen Rice locked in a battle for 2nd. They've still got a lot of work to do if they're going to catch Joe Rollins, but he's been caught and then once again by Harry Clayton. So the gap comes down ever so slightly. There's another lap's complete. The top 2, and once again Joe Rollins just caught in it. He's got some odd lines to take. 2nd and 3rd are catching. Stuart Morgan still in the hunt for the Entertainer Award by the looks of it, and so is Harry Clayton as he stops Joe Rollins on the nose. So Finley Hall now takes up the lead in 100. Stephen Rice now still 2nd. Joe Rollins down to 3rd. Carl Bantwick to 4th. And Kean Twig now in 5th in 62. As our leaders once again into turn 3. And the leader gets stopped by Harry Clayton. So Stephen Rice is now going to take it up this time round. Finley Hall still 2nd. Here's Joe Rollins now coming past the start finish in 3rd in 593. It's kind of why he's going to turn around on Oppo this time on the opposite corner. Carl Bantwick there 4th. He's got to meet the 317 car. He just gets through it. So in all this, Steve Rice is still leading, but he just gets caught in a tangle with Conway as well as Lewis Allen in 311. So the top 5 rather now all still there. Kean Twig with a front inside puncher, possibly lost the whole entire wheel. Nope, he's lost the whole wheel. That's where his Rain Sports went. Nothing to do with me. But the leader's all caught in a pilot. Finley Hall. Where is he in all this? He's coming out of turn 2 now. Shane Geary meets the post on in 478, but he's now parked across the track. I believe that car is not moving anytime soon. On 2nd, Kean Twig. Well, 4th rather, actually, with a busted wheel. Finley Hall still getting through the pilots with no problems. He goes on to the back straight once again. It's a penultimate lap of the circuit for our leader. He's going to meet Stuart Morgan. He's collected it in the pilot. He's got one more lap left to do for Finley Hall. He goes into turn 1. For the final time, he's got to be in Miracle Era 2nd place. Stephen Rice wants to catch him in this. He goes down the back straight for the final time. Is he going to get through the turn 3 pilot? He's got a bit of weaving to do to get through all this. He's just caught in it, but he's going to get through it. So Finley Hall, well, at the line, if he can get past King and Twig, he's going to take the consolation victory. So Finley Hall, your winner in car 100. He's going to make his way into the wildcard final. Stephen Rice home for 2nd in 801. Carl Bantwick for 3rd in 365. It's Joe Rollins 3rd in 593. Lewis Allen home, well, 4th rather, 593. Lewis Allen home for 4th. Kean Twig 5th. Shane Geary home for 7th. Carl London 8th. Because, believe it or not, hit the tyres 4 times last race. I wonder if he put that up to about 8.
Perhaps one highlight for me in that race, I don't know if you could see it very much, but on turn 3, goodness me, we had an almighty jacking train. Riley Scott Sanders' car got hit twice by a yank in 2 consecutive laps, I believe, courtesy of Harvey Barkas in 144. An incredible compilation of hits down on turn 3 in that race. Some good banger racing, and quite how the 62 car kept going, I'm not entirely sure. That was beyond repair as far as I'm concerned, but a very good race from Finley Hall, I have to say, in 100. Didn't really put many of the foot wrong.
Well, apart from slightly getting caught up in turn 3, but still no problems, and, well, certainly got away at the end there, but of course, with bangers, it's all down, really, to luck, you could say. Of course, you could easily just get caught in a pile up and like that, you're through, but of course, it's more of a luck skill base around here, especially, of course, posting up, you don't want to get caught on those, or your car quite going to get killed off, should we say. Shane Geary, for example, in that was hit a post down the back straight, and kind of, wow, he's getting a bit trigger happy now, I think. He's going to send it down the home straight. Anyway.
Yes, and while we have the sort of customary destruction derby after the race is done, I can give you the entertainers in that race. So the entertainers are as follows: 895 Connor Paget, 81 Harry Clayton, 144 Harvey Barkas, 122 Stuart Morgan, and 419 of Carlton Longdon. That sounds pretty solid to me, as all 5 of them I did see get stuck in at one point to the turn 3 melee. Yeah, certainly. So far, Thomas, the 4 races we've seen, all of them have had talking points to some extent in them, and lots of big crashes.
One shot I definitely think went unnoticed in that Riley Scott Sanders on Owen Geese in the opening laps of certainly rather hard shot, you could say, with definitely a good run up in that, and of course definitely stopped the 808 car solid, but still managed to back off and keep going. So I believe now we've got, of course, second consolation to come.
Yep, and with that, I think it'll back to me for that one, unfortunately, which means for the next race, you won't have any more of Thomas's innuendos, because I did catch at the start of Heat 3 what you said. Whether you realised it yourself is a different question, but it did make me smile. But nonetheless, we're about set to get everything turned round. I'll be back with you in just a few moments' time with consolation number 2, where another lucky person will go through to tonight's wildcard final.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. A feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. A feeling that tonight's gonna
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
This is Susan Rock of the Cave News.
Right then, so looks like we're just about set then for Unlimited Bangers Consolation number 2. I apologise about the slight downtime there in the music. One of the songs not willing to play ball, I'm afraid, but it does happen occasionally. Right, so just about set and ready to rumble then. We've got another decent field of cars out on track, and we'll be underway racing with you very shortly. The final chance to qualify for tonight's grand final. It's over to you, Mr. Starter, for this one with Unlimited Bangers' second consolation race. Right, from rolling then with this one, constellation number 2 for the bangers rather. So by my reckoning, that is 13 cars on track. So unlucky for some. I'm sure Kieran Smith will disagree with me though. So Louis Kingwell and Sanders lead them off. Let's see what manner of carnage kicks off here. Right, green flag goes down. That carnage commences as the bangers go back into action, and Jamie Dawson's not made it to the green flag and been jacked immediately by Alfie Jones in number 40. So a huge moment at turn number 4 as they already go piling into the bottom bend as they make their way down the back straight. 517 Ben Sanders is your leader, and well, Jamie Dawson 165 goes opposite out of the corner and almost goes down the straight the wrong way. That will probably be a bit of a telling off there. We've got the Rover P5 reading in third place, amazing, as Thomas Clee's been fired into the post flat out, completely stock car style, as 517 Sanders leads the way. 926 Louis Kingwell has done a rather unusual thing and completed more than one lap in this race, as he got someone backing out on the turn. He was on the Yank tanks that got caught out. As Thomas Cleese to the front with training the leaders, and the leader's gone into a parked car. So 926 Louis Kingwell cue balls the leader into the unfortunate backmarking Thomas Cleese, who had nowhere to go. Jamie Dawson's car has expired as round goes Ben Sanders, turned out by Carl Fideau in the Rover P5. He's got a mention now, so you can have to message Thomas on Facebook later on at least. There's number 40 Alfie Jones has turned it round and collected a couple of victims. So your leader is 926 Louis Kingwell as Alfie Jones is still looking for a victim. Who's he going for? That's the question. He's pulled out, he's missed everybody. And then ends up putting Carl Fideau wide in the Rover P5. So Louis Kingwell leads the way in the Rolls Royce, the only roller here tonight, I believe. He almost gets stopped by Alfie Jones, who puts himself in the marker tie for his troubles, as 248 gets a large portion from a combination of 171 and 831, but 517 Ben Sanders, the 300 stock car driver, and he gets a head on from Thomas Cleese in 782. Of course, Ben Sanders, now with 300 stock cars, has raced the junior rods at both Speedwith and Smallfield in the past. As the field make their way through, Campbell has stopped him on the Midlands drivers from the Scrapyard Screamers, who have raced many years on the Inc Race tracks and also down at Trent Raceway near Burton. A very interesting little field track, that one. As 42 Basil Barron now leads in his roller, so I stand correct, we've got at least 2 rollers here tonight. Kieran Smith is up to second place in number 13, so certainly looking like it is lucky for him so far, but of course second place is not a qualifying position in this one. 960 going to turn it round as 831 one hand fired into Jamie Dawson's stationary car by the race leader, as Kieran Smith has been stopped by 248 of Harry Shaw, who decides to pull across the track in his Ford County Squire, I believe that is. I could be wrong on that. My knowledge of American cars isn't the greatest. As they make their way through, Basil Byrne, a huge shack up 831 rear in hand, who reversed down the straight and has collected the leader flat out. Now 248 has gone in very heavily on the side of the ex-race leader. Your new race leader now is Richard Morgan in 171. As Kieran Smith has been stopped and that car's caught alight. We've got 2 cars on fire. So if you could throw a couple of sausages on, I'll be there in a few minutes. 171 Richard Morgan goes around the outside of Alfie Jones in number 40, who was, I don't know if he was intentionally blocking or doing a 3-point turn. Dylan Gamble's just put, I think that was Ben Sanders in a title. He's just been stopped by Louis Kingwell in 926, who caught a victim quite nicely. So third place is Cal Fido in 749. Richard Morgan head on with Harry Shaw in 248. Another one I think that races junior bangers these days. Here's the Rover P5 and there's a Merc in third. So it looks like 831 trying the entertainer's prize as a plan here. Well, at least someone's trying to entertain. So 517 of Ben Sanders back to the, despite being stopped abruptly a few laps back. He's just hit the back of Kieran Smith's stationary car and been done on the nose in turn. So your new race leader is now Cal Fido in 749. Now, could you imagine that? In this field of cars, a Rover P5 winning the race. It's normally a car that we've more utilised at Veterans Day at Hensford. And in fact, he's just been turned around, but it's still leading. These old cars can certainly take the stick, and this Rover, he's certainly proving said case here. He's got the brakes, so he's dashed out of the way and put himself in the wires. So he's gone. Your leader then is now Ben Sanders in 517 in the more commonly seen Mercedes W210 E-Class. You don't see many of them on the road anymore, partly because they've all been bangered, and well, partly because that one's actually a frog eye. I apologise. They do look a bit similar once they've been destroyed. So Ben Sanders leads the way in what I thought was Mercedes, but is actually a Ford Scorpio. So it's 1 lap to go, Mr. Please. 1 lap to go for 517 Ben Sanders. Well, it might be not. No, Carl Fido will get the 1 lap board, in fact. Or maybe not again, there is the case. No, he's kept it on the track, so 749 is still lead, but he's got 171 chasing him down, bumpers go in. Oh, 962 King gets a huge shot on the front end of the 749 machine. That one went in very hard indeed. And here comes Richard Morgan into the final bend of the race. Anybody there to stop him? Alfie Jones tries, Dylan Gamble has stopped him. But has he got going again, I wonder? Cal Fido nails Dylan Gamble through the doors. As 171 Richard Morgan says, thanks so much, everybody, and takes the lead. And the win subsequently as well. 517 Ben Sanders across the line to go second. Third is going to be possibly 749, providing that Rover P5 is still going. It might be more a Rover 2, a Rover P2.5 at this stage. Ben Sanders celebrates his race from the head-on with Richard Morgan that's ended his own car off. So the achievement of that head-on is debatable. And, well, there you go. But to the winner, that goes through to the wildcard final will be 171 of Richard Morgan. And we will get the wildcard final grid sorted as soon as we get everything confirmed. But again, Thomas, if you're there, another rather lively exchange from the bangers on that one.
Well, you could say that. I think Tom 2 definitely had something with it. Not sure who that was, but anyway.
Yeah, it was certainly a bit of a mess on turn 2, and turn 3 once again didn't look a huge amount clearer. But I have to put my hats off there to Cal Fido in what is probably the oldest car here tonight, leading a race on BWS tonight. That's not very often that happens in modern day national bangers. I could tell you that for nothing. So the classic cars still have it. It's just you've got to try and get them through the early carnage. So I think I've just got the entertainers through as well. I'll just give you them in a moment once I have a chance to check the glorious app which is Messenger. And yeah, the entertainers I have been given are 926 Louis Kingwell, 42 Basil Barron, 831 Rian Hand, 68 Dylan Gamble, 248 Harry Shaw, number 40 Alfie Jones, and 749 of Cal Fido. So the entertainers list on that is more cars than RSCA gets for its average saloon meeting these days. But that is another story for another day. That will round out the Consolation qualifying stages for the bangers this evening. And we will be back with you very shortly with what I believe is going to be the wildcard final. So just final preparations being made ahead of this final for the Limited Bangers here at Yarmouth tonight. So we are just moments away from deciding who will be going through to the World Championship at Ipswich next month. So once again, it'll be Thomas taking you through tonight's grand final for the Bangers. So we've had a great night up till this point. Let's just hope it stays that way, and hopefully everyone keeps it within the rules as they have been so far this evening. So we're just waiting for cars to be called out the pit gate, and we'll see what we get. So Thomas, any final predictions ahead of this race? Although I know making a prediction as a commentator is the worst thing you can do.
Well, definitely. I mean, we've seen the commentators curse strike quite a few times, as a pair we should say. But you can't make predictions in a race like this because it's anyone's. You could be leading until the last lap and then just get stopped. So...
Yep, very much so. It's just one of those natures of the beast, really. But we are just a few moments away from the start of this one for the Limited Bangers. And, well, as it's the final, let's have a bit of build-up music, shall we? Here we go with tonight's Limited Banger final. Thomas, it's over to you when you're ready.
So, of course, well, the front row, we can see Scott Bodley and Lewis Anslow. Row 2, we see Ollie Hutchins. I believe that is Tom Knighton in 1-4-2. We've got the last few cars on the track. Of course, the race winners, I believe, to the back. And then, I think, if I am right, we are going to do the drawers. Well, it's been the case with the majority of the BWSs, I think. There are our 3 heat winners for the draw. And Lewis Offord off to get sent to the back of the grid. So now... So after the Inca race draw has been complete, Charlie Aylward, the lucky dog, gets put on pole position. Liam Boyle and Lewis Offord, of course, being sent to the back of the grid. So just the final instructions going to the drivers, and then, of course, we're away with, well, I believe 28 laps is what it says. We're going with that anyway. So here we go. We're rolling for the final wildcard final. Of course, the winner through to the final World Championship in Ipswich in October. Here we go. We're rolling with the National Banger meeting final. Here we go then, the wildcard final is underway. For the Unlimited Bangers, Charlie will with the early breakaway in 1-6-4. Lewis Anslow and Scott Bodley side by side down the back straight into turn 3. Who's going to come out of it with that second spot? Scott Bodley with a nose ahead over Anslow. And here comes Tom Knighton though in 1-4-2. 4-4 place, a couple cars sat on turns 1 and 2. And the bumpers all going in further back. Jack Freck gets turned round in 67. Amongst the others, Brad Thomas is involved in it. In 55, Max Clayton on the infield as well in 281. But Charlie Hayward still with the lead. In 164, it's still Scott Bodley and Lewis Anslow third. And Richard Morgan out to third. No, fourth rather actually in 171. It's Jack Freck as well. He's turned it around in 67. He's going to go straight for a head on with Scott Bodley. In 57, he gets dropped down to about 5th or 6th place. Charlie Elwood now with a sizable lead over Lewis Anslow to go out off of turn 4. It's another lap complete for the leaders. It looks like Elwood's got a couple of back markers to get round. Ollie Hutchins in 368 being one of them. So at the minute, it's still Elwood from Morgan, Anslow, Knighton. David Davidson out there as well. In 210, more problems for Jack Freck in 67. He collects Jack Aylward in 146. A couple more being involved in that as well, because see some smoke going down. Off the exit of turn 4. It looks like we've got a change for the lead though. It's Richard Morgan. 171 now our new leader from David Davidson and Lewis Anslow second and third. A big hit going in on Finn Wells from Jack Freck. He backs off it as well. And Andy James getting hit, sent into a post in 188. So it's still Richard Morgan, our leader, as he goes down the back straight. Into turn 3 once again. David Davidson, a few car lengths behind the Lewis Anslow. Still third in 118 as the leaders come round again. So far, though, no threats whatsoever, really, for our top 3. Charlie Aylward now going back at Lewis Anslow for third place. He goes up the inside off of turn number 2. It punts him wide on a quick punt and run, should we say, rather NASCAR style. Tim Close in 89 gets rather close to a post there, and Richard Morgan's been sent into a post by Andy James in 188. Jack Freck goes in on Ollie Hutchins. David Davidson now takes up the lead, though, in 210. Then he comes down the home straight. Once again, here he comes now into turn number 1. Richard Morgan retakes the lead from Davidson. We've got a couple cars to get around. Brad Thomas straight in the post as well in 55. Jack Freck not really given two in this wildcard final. He's going for anyone and everyone, rather. Come off turn 4. It's David Davidson now still our leader. Richard Morgan still second. First and second still locked in the battle for the lead. As they come round the pit bend once again. Charlie Aylward still third though in 164 as he goes down the back straight. Fair bit behind the leaders now as they come round again. It's still Davidson and Morgan. First and second, still got back markers to get around. Joseph Stanley with problems there, it looks like, on turn 1. He gets hit by Tim Close in 89. More problems for Charlie Aylward. He gets stuck behind the 2 back marking cars. And it looks like problems for Scott Bodley. I can see a few sparks from underneath that car. Possibly a puncture, it looks like. There's more cars going on. I can see Lewis Anslow with problems there as well on turn 4. In 118 as the leaders come around into turn 3. They've got Jack Freck to deal with. It looks like Richard Morgan with problems in 171. David Davidson now with a sizable lead, rather. As another lap completes. Come off turn 2 and Ollie Hutchins sent straight to the infield in 368. Charlie Aylward now up to second. Liam Boyle at the third, rather, as well. In 348 from the back of the grid as well. And we see Tom Knighton in 4th. Finn Wells is in 5th. Looks like Lewis Anslow's race has gone downhill from here. And David Davidson with problems. He gets spun round. On turns 1 and 2, he gets collected by Scott Bodley. Here comes Charlie Aylward now. The challenge for the lead into turn 3. Looks like Aylward's going to punt Davidson wide, I believe. I can't really see from my position on the track. And Charlie Aylward's going to retake the lead, though. In 164, David Davidson's demoted to second. Liam Boyle still third. Finn Wells now up to 4th in 177, but he's a fair way back from the leaders. More problems for Scott Bodley as he gets in a tangle with the rest of the... with a rather pack of cars, and problems for Finley Hall as well. Looks like his engine's died out on him. It's now Liam Boyle with the lead as well. As they go into turn 1 once again, it's Aylward and Boyle in the battle for first and second. David Davidson now into turn 1. He's got a fair bit of distance to catch our leaders. Finn Wells with more problems as well. He gets sent into a pile-up straight through the side of Owen Hunt in 528. There's more problems to Scott Bodley, and Lewis Offer drives through the front end of Finley Hall. And Scott Bodley's going to reverse out on David Davidson as well. Jack Freck straight through the back of Finley Hall as well. He's going to reverse out on Tim Close. It looks like possible pile-up there. On turn 1 developing. Jack Aylward straight into the side of Jack Freck as well. The leaders have rolled off in it. Liam Ball still going to come out of it with the lead though. Charlie Aylward still all over the back of the 348 car. David Davidson must have caught surely in some of this, but I don't think he has. And more cars going in on turns 3 and 4. Nico Clausen into the front of Finley Hall's car. And more going in. It's a pilot. On turn 1, Charlie Aylward's in it. Liam Boyle goes in as well. Aylward's still going to come out with the lead though. And David Davidson still possibly losing ground now, if anything, in all of this. And not many laps left of the circuit of the circuit to run. Charlie Aylward now running away with the lead. He's got the back marking Jack Bollington in front of him in 5.95. Jack Aylward goes in on Liam Boyle, and problems for Lewis Offord in 7.43. He faces the post down on turn 1 as Charlie Aylward is going to get through the pilot. No, he's not, but Liam Boyle's involved in it as well. Where's David Davidson going to come out of all this? He's still going to come out in 3rd, I think. But now still a sizable lead for Charlie Aylward. I'm not sure where David Davidson in all of this is actually. Here he comes now into turn 1, I believe. Or is that Tom Knighton? No, it's Tom Knighton. They've got rather similar matching cars. And he goes straight into Lewis Offord as well. Charlie Aylward, he's now coming round to lap David Davidson. So Aylward definitely making progress. He's not really got much of a challenge anymore. He's half a lap ahead of Liam Boyle. This Boyle's going to go in on Lewis Anslow as well. I believe we're at 5 laps left for our leader, wherever he is. Charlie Aylward, there he is. Round the start finish once again. So the lap's still ticking down for Charlie, and he's been spun on turn 2. So what could this mean? Here comes Liam Boyle now in 3.48, the level. There's Boyle now all over the back of Aylward into turn 3 once again. Here comes Liam Boyle with the bumper on Aylward. He sends him wide. Who's going to come out with the lead? It will be Liam Boyle in 3.48. As the lap's still counting down. It's 3 laps left for Liam Boyle. And where's Charlie Aylward? He's a fair distance back now. It's Liam Boyle into turn 3 once again. As the leader comes round, it's 2 laps left for Liam Boyle in 3.48. As he goes into turn 1 once again, he's got David Davidson turning around and up. He's I'm losing my words now. He's collected by a parked car though, but he ain't lost any ground really, if anything, on Charlie Aylward as he comes into turn 1. David Davidson in with a massive hit on Brad Thomas. It looks like Liam Boyle's collected in it though. Here comes Charlie Aylward down the back straight, but Boyle, is he going to get squared away once again? He's just about the neck and neck. That was the last lap board. And they're all collected in rather. Charlie Aylward, he comes out with the lead. What an interesting last few laps this has turned out to be. But hang on a minute. Jack Bollington with the lead now. As he goes onto the back straight. We had this saga before with the World Final. I'm not messing up this one again. There comes Boddington off for turn 4. He's been collected though. Who's going to come out of it? Who's he going to be? Is it Boddington or Boyle? It's going to be Liam Boyle coming out of it with the victory in the wildcard final. What an interesting last lap that was, to say the least. So Liam Boyle takes the wildcard final for the Unlimited Bangers. Last seed of the wildcards into the main race in Ipswich in October. Jack Boddington home for 2nd from the back of the grid as well. Charlie Aylward home for 3rd place, and he runs out of fuel on the last corner. Well, we could say the commentator's curse has struck Ben, but I think we could just say Charlie didn't put enough fuel in the car like his brother.
Well, yeah, that is the situation with that one. But that last bend was absolutely manic. That was very similar to the second first race the street stocks used to do, where everybody would stop because they didn't want to cross the finish line. That's what that looked like. But in the end, Liam Boyle managed to just seemingly push his way through the pile-up and take the win. I've never seen a finish like that before.
I was on the wrong corner for it as well. I really should have gone over to turn 4 instead of being out on turn 2.
Actually, referencing that, you know those words you lost halfway through that race? I've just found them just come flying past my window.
Well then, that's... I think you were nicking jokes off my dad here, but anyway.
Well,
Scott Bodley, he's going to Harry Overy here. He's, I think, rolled or possibly even hit on his roof, and he's still going, but he ain't been shown a black flag.
Right, okay. Well, that one, it wouldn't be a black flag, would it? It'd be a white flag with a red cross, wouldn't it?
Well, actually, no, they were showing the black flag to Harry Overy. Well, possibly. Now, I found where the curse has come from for Charlie. Carlton and London about a few minutes ago. Charlie is going to run out of fuel, lol. So it wasn't us that cursed someone this time.
Well,
That's 10 points.
Yeah. Carlton, me and Thomas somewhat bet on who's going to curse someone the best, and well, it was neither
He
of us
takes
tonight,
that.
so I think it's void.
I think he takes them 10 points.
Yes, of course, we don't actually bet money on the races, I should point out. We do it basically on bragging rights. That's how it works. But nonetheless, a good little final there for the Bangers. We'll be back with you in a few moments' time with the Showdown. We'll try and get that confirmed to you, the qualifiers for that race. But give us a few minutes. We'll be back with you in just a few minutes' time with tonight's Unlimited Banger Showdown race.